Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting another little adventurous kind of vlog for you. You guys responded really well to the Blackbird vlog that I decided to do things a little bit different this time, but I'm really excited to be doing it this way as well. So I did a poll on Twitter to have you guys pick a classic shoujo series, or an essential shoujo series as I called it, and you guys picked Sailor Moon. So, as a almost 34-year-old woman, I'm going to be reading Sailor Moon for the first time. I know that seems really foreign to so many people out there, because there are a lot of people who read it as children, like the really bad Americanized, I believe it was Tokyo Pop that published them, and they watched the show. I was enough older that I missed that, and being in conservative Utah, I probably would have missed it anyway. So, the closest thing I watched to anime was like the Hello Kitty American cartoon. And Pokemon. Anyway, so I'm going to be going on a Sailor Moon adventure as a grown woman for the first time. And I know little bits and pieces about it, but I still don't know the cohesive plot. So I think this is going to be a fun adventure for me because for whatever reason, I've been able to stay away from spoilers with Sailor Moon. Most of my friends just say, oh, I love it, you should try it. And there we are, and hence you guys choosing Sailor Moon. So we're going to dig into this, and I'm going to let you guys know how I feel. I did opt to collect the Eternal editions, so this will be a little bit, because I'm not going to post this until they're all out. And I think the 5th one comes out relatively soon, because the first 4 are out. I don't remember when the 5th one comes out, and I think it's only 5. Might be 6. I don't know, because there's 12 volumes in the original run, so I'm not 100% sure how many of these there are going to be. I'm sure I will have more details for you after I thoroughly research it, because I did not thoroughly research it before filming this clip. But the next time we chat, I will know how many Eternal editions there are supposed to be. So once I have some more to report, I will be back and we'll chat soon. Comes out soon, but the 6th one isn't supposed to come out till November, according to Penguin Random House's website. So it might be a while before you guys are seeing this, because right now it's like June 20th. Happy summer! Anyway, just that allows me to just kind of collect it slowly until number 6 is out. So I won't be rushing this. This will be a slower burn on a vlog, and it'll be fun. I'm really excited about it. But anyways, I am going to go ahead and dig into volume 1 today while I'm at work. So I'm sure I will pop in with thoughts, but I just thought I'd let you know I'm filming this way earlier than you will most likely see it, because I don't think I'll cheat and go read it elsewhere. Maybe I'll see if my library has it and check out the last couple volumes and then just collect the number 6. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. It'll depend on how quickly I collect these, because they are more expensive. Full price, they're $28 US. So they're a pricier collect. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. And everybody says these are the editions to collect. I do like that they're big. It makes them special, and I think it will be good. So, anyways, I'm going to dig into Sailor and her Sailor Scouts. Okay, so Sailor Moon update. I've just met the person that Luna wants to be the 2nd Sailor Scout, Ami. I really like her, but what it comes down to is Usagi's personality, I don't think aged very well. I mean, the whole bimbo act is pretty old and pretty dated. So it's one of those things where we all know Usagi's smarter than she believes she is. And this wouldn't be as successful if she doesn't prove that over and over and over again. So I think I'm really going to like the other Sailor Scouts so far, if they continue to be a little more like Ami, where they're not afraid of their intelligence and such. I hope that rubs off on Usagi a lot. And I really am... I don't hate it, but, you know, it didn't age well. And I know a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia with this series, so don't at me for my feelings. But, you know, I'm reading this as a grown woman, not a teenage girl 20 years ago. So it's one of those things where it's just... It hasn't aged well, in my opinion, but I don't hate it. I'm still going to keep going. I'm not giving up on it, because I know that people have to love it for a reason, and that reason is not Usagi's personality. So right now, that's the only like dark mark on this for me so far. Everything else I'm really liking. I really like Luna's personality. I'm gonna have to find me a Luna plushie somewhere because I need me some Luna in my world. And I've met Tuxedo Mask, and I have thoughts about Tuxedo Mask, but we'll see if those change and stuff down the road. But anyhow, Usagi's younger than I thought she'd be as well. She's only 14 at the start of the series, and for some reason I thought she was like 15, 16. So not a lot younger, but she's younger. So I know a lot of that has to do with the personality, but I hope throughout the series that she grows and matures, and yeah, anyway. Those are initial thoughts. I'm going to keep going. We'll talk more later. All right, checking it. I still have a little bit left of this Eternal Edition, and I'm having mixed feelings about Memoro, and I know that that's something I've heard about. Some people like him, some people don't, and I don't know how I feel about him right now. I think this is one of those faded former life lovers kind of situation, but they're both young still, and so I'm struggling because I like me a good age gap, but in a modern time frame, even 30 years ago, 14 is young. 14 is stinking young to have such a prominent romantic relationship. So again, that's something that I think hasn't really aged very well when it comes to the series. I love A Bride Story, and that's dealing with a 12-year-old boy and a 20-year-old woman, but culturally speaking and in that time period, it was appropriate, which is why I think I'm okay with their age difference, and they're not being inappropriate or anything too. So she's patiently waiting for him to grow up and mature before they start down that road where they would invite more into their relationship and children and such. But anyway, we're not here to talk about A Bride Story. We're here to talk about Sailor Moon. And I have mixed feelings about him right now. The next chapter is supposed to be kind of all about him, because he seems protective of Usagi in a way, and seems to always conveniently be around. So it's one of those things where I think he's plot armor, and I don't know. And I'm not giving up on the series by any means yet. Like, I would have to read at least 3 of these Eternal Editions and feel super bad about it for me to not continue. There's enough in the story about empowering women that I like, that I think I'll be okay given some time, but this first part of the series did not age well, in my opinion. There's just some stuff in it that, 30 years ago would have been fine, but now it's definitely not. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll chat again. Hey friends, so now that I've got some privacy, let's chat about Sailor Moon Eternal Edition Volume 1. You got some of my initial thoughts as we went along. So we've met quite a few of the Sailor Scouts now. Things are going well in the story. I'm still on the fence about Tuxedo Mask. I think at his core, he won't be the bad guy, but he's very conveniently everywhere that Usagi and her friends are. And he seems to be very protective of her, so he claims he doesn't remember anything, but I think he remembers her for some reason. They both seem drawn to each other, that whole fated to be together trope, which isn't one of my favorites. So again, that's something that I think hasn't held up well over the years. But all in all, I'm liking it. Not loving it yet, but I'm told that that's probably how I would feel, is that I would like it and not love it yet. It's going to take me a while before I love it. And it seems that when it comes to the Eternal Editions, there are many more than 6. So most likely what I'll do is I will read the Eternal Editions, probably through 5, and then what I'll do is I'll try to borrow from the library or just be that person that sits in the bookstore and reads it. because I only want to collect these Eternal Editions. They are just too stunning that I really am just here for it. I think it's great, and I like that it's the bigger size. I like the heavier weight, the heavier paper. I'm willing to pay the extra because I do, from what I'm gathering of the story, and I think Usagi is going to grow in her knowledge and maturity fairly quickly, because even in this one Eternal Edition, I felt like she was already starting to change for the better. So I think a lot of my annoyances with Usagi early on will dissipate in the next volume or two of these Eternal Editions. So for those of you who don't have the Eternal Editions and you don't know how many chapters I've read, essentially it's like the first 7. So we're dealing with the supposed princess at this point. And I like Luna. I hate that Luna's so elusive, though. That's my only complaint about Luna, but I think that would be my complaint of any character in Luna's place. But Luna as a cat, I love, and it's great, and I really am looking forward to continuing on. So I'm not 100% sure when I'm going to be able to pick up Volume 2. I'm hoping it won't take me forever to get this vlog to you guys. I will most likely shop around, see where I can find it for the best price. I did buy this first one at Barnes & Noble just with my 10% member discount, and I'm fine to do that for a first volume a lot of the time, and then from there, if I don't know how I'm going to feel, I usually try to find the best price for it, or I collect it digitally, things like that. So, anyway, initial thoughts on Sailor Moon is I like it. I don't know that I love it, but I think I have the potential of being able to love it later in the series. Good morning, friends. So it's actually the next day since we last chatted, and since I literally have no chill, yesterday I picked up Volume 2 of Sailor Moon, because I'm just one of those people that when I'm doing something for you guys, I have no chill. And I really was intrigued with how the first Eternal Edition ended, so I wanted to pick up the second one, and I happened to be going to Barnes & Noble to pick up the collector's edition of Cardcaptor Sakura a couple days early, so I just ended up snagging this while I was there. And now I'm going to shop around for the other 3, but anyway, that's where we're at. I will be digging into this at work today. That's going to kind of be my work project. My current prose I'm reading is not making me very happy, so I'm going to dig into some Sailor Moon. And I do have a couple other volumes of manga with me that aren't Sailor Moon, obviously, because I don't feel like reading prose at work today. So I'm just going to let that stay home, and I will read that later. But yes, so digging into Volume 2 of Sailor Moon Eternal Edition. Okay, so wait. That ditzy little girl is supposed to be the princess of the Moon Kingdom? Really? What? What? No. But as I thought, faded prince and princess. Her in tuxedo mask, but now his guard seems to have found him and kidnapped him again, and I have all sorts of feelings. So yeah, anyway, my mind's being a little bit rattled by the Sailor Moon at the moment, so I plan on continuing to read and digesting and figuring out how I feel, because right now, I don't know. Okay, so I just finished Act 10, so the Dark Kingdom is trying to take over everything at this point. And all of the 4 kings are all gone, and Tuxedo Mask has come back to the Earth to apparently kill Usagi. And a lot of this feels so cliche. I mean, it's clearly very dated at this point with the type of plot we have, but I still am having a hard time believing that Usagi can change so much in a short amount of time. Because now she's acting more mature, she's got a grip on her powers. I mean, yeah, she got all her memories back, but her body still shouldn't be trained for the kind of battle she seems to be doing, and especially her mortal body, not her eternal you know, transformed body. And I'm riding the struggle bus a little bit right now. Not mad at it per se, but I'm struggling. I'm going to take a break. I've got a client coming soon, so I'm going to put on a little bit of makeup, do something with his face. And yeah, I'll come back to it in a little bit, and we'll chat again soon. Okay, so I'm about to start Act 12. So I've read another act since I saw you last. And I'm struggling. Like, I don't want to be struggling, but I kind of am. Because Tuxedo Mask falling under this hypnosis just feels wrong, considering his history with Usagi, or Usaka, whatever her name is these days, and with Sailor Moon. And it's just feeling like plot armor anymore, and that's really frustrating. But the art is still lovely. I like that Usagi is being forced to grow. I think it's good. I like learning more about her world and her purpose. And so I'm interested to see where this goes. But, you know, I feel like people are being way too easily manipulated in this story so far. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. So I just finished Volume 2 of the Eternal Editions of Sailor Moon. It seems like the first arc of the story has just concluded. I still have mixed feelings about everything right now. So I'm not hating it. Like, let me be clear. I'm not hating it. I'm having a lot of fun reading it. But there's some stuff in here that's a little ridiculous and far-fetched and plot armor heavy going on. But it's one of those things that, for its time, I think it was great. Like I say, I don't think the story holds up well as somebody newer coming into manga. I know a lot of people love some of those older series. Like, some people are reading One Piece for the first time and it's still holding up well. This one, just due to some of the themes within it and some of the, you know, plot twists, as you could say, they're old and tired a bit. But you can clearly tell that this is the origins of Magical Girl, and I'm still enjoying it. Like, don't get me wrong, but this is not like the best thing ever at this point. I still think like Mamoru is an awful guy. Just letting people be sacrificed so that he and Usagi can be together, like, it feels far-fetched. And I just met Chibi-Usagi, and it'll be interesting to see how that pans out in the next edition. So, like, so I'm not mad at it, but I'm not loving it as much as I hoped I would. Does that make sense? So many of my friends love and adore this series, and I want to love and adore it with them, but right now, I don't feel like I can. Granted, there's 10 of these that are going to be coming out. So, yeah, I'm just riding the struggle bus a bit. But I am enjoying what's going on. And I love the art style. So I'll keep going for the art style. And I'm happy to buy this to support the art style because I think it's great. I really, honestly, and truly do. So I've got 3 more of the Eternal Editions to pick up, and then I'll switch to something else so you guys don't have to wait forever and a day to get this vlog. Maybe I'll do a part 1 and part 2 where you get this, and then, I don't know, maybe. I'm kicking stuff around. We'll see what happens, but, so yes, favorite characters right now, I really like Sailor Venus a lot, and then I love my girl here. The other Sailor Scouts I just don't know very well yet. Those 2 have been the most prevalent thus far in the story. So I'm interested to see how things move forward from here. And yeah, that's where I'm at. And I want to love it more than I'm loving it right now. I mean, Tuxedo Mask is not all he's cracked up to be, and I may make a video about it, depending on how I feel in the next couple volumes, just about how Tuxedo Mask is an awful boyfriend. And I still don't fully know his motives. If they were just to get back to her, and that's the end of that, and he's just there to support her from now on, then that's different, but I don't know. A lot of that just felt too convenient and too heavy-handed that he was part of the bad guy side up to now for it to not continue to play out later. So I'm interested to see where this goes. And that's that. So talk to you later. Hey friends, so it's been quite a bit since I've filmed for this particular vlog because I just barely got my hands on the next 3 Eternal editions of Sailor Moon. So I am going to get back into my Sailor Moon reading. When we left off on the end of Volume 2, we just saw Chibi-Usa for the first time. And so we're going to dig in to Volume 3 now of the Eternal editions. I've got 3, 4, and 5, and that's all that's currently released at the point of filming this, and 5 had just barely come out. So I'll most likely have to hit up a library or someone who owns it to read the second half of the series so that it doesn't take like 2 years for you guys to see this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and dig in. After like sitting on the series for some time, my feelings haven't changed. I just thought I would update you on that because it's been like, I want to say 2 weeks? Week and a half, 2 weeks since I read Volume 2. And I've read a lot since then. And my thoughts haven't really changed. I think it's not aged well. It has been 30 years, let's be real here. So I think a lot of what fuels this series right now is nostalgia. But I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. So I'm going to go ahead and dig into this volume and we'll go from there. Wait, correction. This is actually Volume 3, not the green one. That one's Volume 4. I'm just that extra and accidentally held up the wrong one. So just letting you guys know, I really am jumping into Volume 3, not Volume 4. Talk to you soon. All right, so we're about halfway through Volume 3 here. And not only are the Sailor Scouts systematically kidnapped, we now have to save the 30th century. I mean, this is just... It's feeling so far-fetched to me. Like, I know it's not supposed to be real, but even like for 30 years ago, this isn't that great. Maybe I'm just too old. I don't know. But nostalgia's not on my side with this one, guys. I love the art. Like, I would love to read more from Takeuchi in a modern title, honestly. But all I see is Sailor Moon. But, like, I can see why people don't like Chibi-Usa. Chibi-Usa's real purpose just became revealed, obviously, from what I've told you. If you've read the series, you know exactly what all that means. But, yeah, I'm just... I don't know, guys. Like, I don't think I'm going to love Sailor Moon. And I wanted to, very much. I'm going to keep going. I hope this next little part of the arc gets better. Because, man, if it continues down this track, I don't know how I'm going to feel. So, alright. So I just finished the 3rd edition of Sailor Moon Eternal. This... I didn't hate where this volume ended. Let's be honest. It started to get better. It's still all really far-fetched and things, but I didn't expect it to be perfect. It is dated. So it's getting better. Chibi-Usa's true identity has been revealed, like who she really, really is. And I'm not going to say, those who have read the series know what that is, but if you haven't read the series, I'm trying to keep this vague-ish. I mean, most of you have probably read it. I'm way behind on the Sailor Moon train. But anyway, I'm struggle bussing a little, but I'm okay. So yeah, that's essentially what's going on here. So Anyway, chat at you soon. Okay, friends. So, just finished volume 4, which is the Black Moon Arc, I believe. I'll have to look up what it's actually called and let you know. But essentially, I'm calling it the Black Moon Arc / Chibi-Usa Arc. And I have mixed feelings. You know, the fact that Chibi-Usa is going after Mamoru is all sorts of weird. It's not okay. So I can get why people don't like Chibi-Usa at all. There's some good stuff that comes out of that arc, and I think that it could have been done differently. But at the same time, like, I get why it happens the way it does. Like, it totally makes sense to me. And like I say, I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of the choice made for this particular arc, but I understand it. I am hopeful as to where that will lead further on in the series. I mean, this is only the second real arc in Sailor Moon, so there's got to be 2 or 3 more, depending on how big those arcs are. So I still don't know how I feel about Mamoru and Usagi. Like, I just don't know how I feel about them. It's weird. It's an age gap, and she's very young. Like, when I started reading this, I did not realize how young she was. So, but I always knew there was this whole, like, tuxedo mask romance thing. And, like, part of me gets it and likes them together, and the other part of me is like, this feels wrong. I shouldn't like this. So, that's kind of where I'm at with things. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite thing, though. So, we will see how I feel moving forward. I'm glad I'm reading it so that I have context when people are talking about Sailor Moon, you know, and it's my first real magical girl full manga that I'll read. I have other ones that have girls with magic in them, but they've not been magical girl mangas. So, because, you know, they haven't really had one of those in a long time. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not loving it like I wanted to. Hello, so it is now July 3rd. I am at work, and I'm going to be digging into the 5th volume of Sailor Moon, the Eternal Edition. This one is the longest one so far. It's almost like 400 pages. So this one feels like it'll be more like 2 solid volumes compared to the previous ones where they're kind of like one in a certain amount. So I'm going to have to do some research to figure out where this one ends so I know what volume I need to pick up. And I've heard the translations differ, and it might take me a minute to adjust to the translation change, but I think I'll be okay with that. I mean, I'm pretty forgiving in that regard compared to most people. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and dig into this. I'm still kind of like on the fence with the whole Chibi-Usa pursuing Mamoru thing. I thought that was super weird and still feel like it's super weird. But anyway, I've got a pretty busy day at work, so I don't know how long this is going to take me to read. But my first appointment's in like 45 minutes, so I can get a decent amount into it before I end up needing to put it down. So that's the plan for now. I'm gonna just dig in and we'll chat as I go along. I'm hoping to have more time to chat as I go along in this volume. Yesterday I didn't have too much time, like, in between to update you because there were too many people here, but it's the day before the 4th. Most of the girls are out of town, so that's kind of where we're at with that. So anyway, I'm just gonna get to reading. Okay, so I'm almost halfway through this 5th volume. So I've actually really been enjoying this plot line so far. You know, the villains are still a little, like, very comic book style, very cheesy. But I think that's just going to be the nature of the villains in this series, so I'm trying to get over that. But the introduction of the 2 new Sailor Scouts that we meet in this volume has been absolutely fantastic. because it's playing with a lot of things I didn't expect it to. And I'm kind of all about it, if I'm honest. It's really enjoyable. I really like the turn the story's taking. I can see now why people like Sailor Moon. The beginning felt very... And I still don't know about Chibi-Usa because Chibi-Usa is still around. So I'll figure out more about that later, obviously. My appointment just pulled up, so I'm going to go take care of that, and then I'll get back to reading. Okay, so I just finished Volume 5. I was so sucked in that I didn't have the energy to pause and talk about it. So this Eternal Edition has sold me on Sailor Moon. This has been my favorite thus far. There's so much going on in this volume. Yes, Chibi-Usa is still around. I don't know if Chibi-Usa will be around much longer, but that's kind of where we're at the moment. We have met more Sailor Guardians. I think at this point we've met, almost every potential one that we could have. There might be one or two more hiding out somewhere. I don't think so, though. Going through my solar system, I don't think so. I think we've now met all of the Sailor Guardians. Unless there's a Sailor Sun, which there could be. I have no idea. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at with all of that. There's a lot going on right now. A particular Sailor Scout has just awakened and it's causing some problems. So I'm actually really sold on the series after this volume. I'm really liking the current arc that I'm in. I think it's allowing a lot of things to grow and change between the characters, and that's good for me. I think the story has needed that for my enjoyment level of it, at least. The art is still stunning, and I still really like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some research to figure out which volume I need to pick up. If I have to reread a chapter or two, that's fine, but I need to figure out where I need to start from so that I make sure I read the whole story. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Again, this one has sold me on the series as a whole right now. Hey friends, Gremlin Shay for you. I had a dentist appointment this morning, and so I didn't want to fully make up the face just to have it get all wet and splotchy and weird and gross. So I haven't done my makeup yet. But one, I have no cavities, so yay. That's great. That's the first time ever that I've never had that I've been cavity free at a dentist appointment. So, but secondly, I was able to borrow the rest of the Sailor Moon series from my friend's sister. All the random people. So I'm going to be spending today binging the rest of Sailor Moon. So the vlog is back in full force. And let's go ahead and dig into Volume 7. Hi, still no makeup, but finished Chapter 7, or Volume 7, I should say. It ends with chapter... Basically, I had already read 2/3 of this volume at the start of it. So yeah, Act 35 is where I finished in Volume 7. So it was only really 2 chapters I had to read in this volume. And I'm still on the fence as a whole with Sailor Moon. This arc is better, but it's still... I've read better, but I can see a lot of influence in other series that I've read coming from this. So I can appreciate Sailor Moon for what it is. I gave this volume overall 4 stars because a lot of good things do happen in this particular volume of the series. So now I'm going to move on to Volume 8, which I have to point out is a gorgeous cover. I just love the way they did the coloring and stuff on this particular volume. So now let's read it. Hey guys, so hiding out in the back room here again, and I just finished Volume 8 of Sailor Moon. Now, some sad things happened in this particular volume. We said goodbye to some characters I don't think I was quite ready to say goodbye to, but that's what happened, and so I don't have a choice, and that's where we're at with that. But this did end and start a new arc in the middle. I do think I like how the Eternal Editions are going, where they seem to end an arc at the end of a 2-volume set. That seems to work really well for my particular taste. So because I hate ending and starting an arc in the middle. It just feels off. So again, I'm sure a lot of people were in tears at this point in the story, but I don't feel the emotional attachment to the characters like a lot of people do, I'm sure. I look so like beheaded in this shot, so I'm really sorry. I can only stand on my tiptoes so long. But anyways, so I am liking it still. This new arc is feeling kind of super cheesy and hokey, so hopefully it will progress into something much more interesting. So from here, we are jumping into volume 9, which I am now officially 2/3 of the way through Sailor Moon. I have 9, 10, 11, and 12 left. So time to dig into volume 9. Again, still no makeup. I've been too focused on other things. But volume 9 of Sailor Moon is now complete. I think by far this has been my favorite volume. There's a lot that goes on in character development and gaining confidence in yourself. Throughout this volume, my brand new favorite character was introduced. I hope they survive. That's all I'm going to say at this point. Because, man, and there was a moment with Artemis the cat in here that had me tearing up more than the events in the previous volume. So, maybe I'm jaded because I love cats so much. I don't know. But anyway, I was really hesitant about this arc in the beginning, but this arc has been amazing for character development. And so I did really enjoy this particular volume and what this arc is doing for the future of the story. Things are looking pretty grim at the moment, so we'll see how the next volume goes. I am going to take a quick break. I have got some stuff I need to do for a buddy read, so I'm going to do that real quick, and then I will jump into volume 10. So see you in a bit, or 2 seconds in your time. All right, y'all, so I am now home, and before I left work, I did finish volume 10 of Sailor Moon. Now, this volume actually had me connected to characters, and I got all soft and emotional during certain parts of this particular volume. Some of those parts did involve my new favorite character, and that character is still my favorite character. I'm not going to say who at this point. When I do a wrap-up of everything, I will do a spoiler section, and that's where I'll get into it. But for the most part, this validated to me why people enjoy Sailor Moon so much. Like, by the end of this volume, I was like, okay, I get it now. Before this point, I kind of didn't get it, if I'm honest. But at this point, I completely get it. Wholeheartedly and completely, I get it. So, I've got 2 volumes left. And let's go ahead and dig into volume 11. So, I've now finished volume 11. And I feel like this volume is completely unnecessary. I think the story would have lended better to an ending at volume 10. This just feels ridiculous to me. That might be tea. And, you know, I still have one last volume to make myself feel differently. But right now, I feel like this last arc is completely unnecessary. Things were so well-rounded and so well-resolved at the end of 10 that this doesn't feel like I need it. I mean, we get the introduction of the Sailor Stars, which I like them as characters for the most part, but at the same time, like, we could have just had a side story with the Sailor Stars. It didn't have to be part of the original canon storyline. I mean, I know it said, like, one last step, so I knew there was another arc, because I also knew there were more volumes, but right now it's not feeling necessary. Granted, this one's a bit thicker than the rest of them, this last volume. So, again, I might change my mind by the end, but right now, I wish I would have ended at 10. So, there's that. There's the tea. I'm sorry if you don't like my opinion here, but right now, 11 just feels unnecessary. And I'm still not as attached to this series as I'm sure a lot of people are. I feel like I've just read better. And like I say, I can understand the nods from other series to this. Like, I see it all. So I can appreciate it for what it is. But I can tell you right now, Sailor Moon is not my favorite series. It's a good series, but it's not my favorite series. And it never will be my favorite series. I don't even think with time I would feel differently about this. So, anyway, I'm going to dig into this last volume and give you some thoughts, and then we will do kind of a rundown wrap up, and I'll talk about some spoilery things, and we'll go from there.
Hey friends, so we are at the end of this Sailor Moon vlog, and I just wanted to quickly wrap up my thoughts here. They are going to be spoilery, so if you don't want to be spoiled for Sailor Moon, then go away. Most of the people who will be watching this will have read the series and want to know my full thoughts. So, before you go, know that I can appreciate Sailor Moon for what it is, but it's not one of my new favorites. So, outside of that, this is going to be spoiler town, so see ya! Alright, so, I'm going to talk about this arc by arc and my thoughts and feelings on each arc, because essentially there are 5 arcs in the story. So, the first arc, the introduction arc, where we meet everybody, was fine. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I still didn't understand what everybody was loving about Sailor Moon in that first arc. Second arc, I'm calling it the Chibi Moon Arc. Or Chibi-Usa arc, whatever you want to call it. Again, I thought it was weird that she, like, had feelings for her dad. Like, to me, that is just so wrong. I was never sexually attracted to my father. I thought my dad was great. My dad's a wonderful man, but I was never sexually attracted to my father. That just feels wrong to me. And wrong on so many levels. And then the third arc, kind of just the in-the-middle arc. It did kind of feel like an in-the-middle arc. So we'll leave it at that. Now, the penultimate arc, the... what would I call this arc? The Sailor Saturn arc? Yeah, I'm going to call it the Sailor Saturn arc. That arc was fantastic. 5 stars. Loved that arc. That's the arc that sold me on the story. And I understand that if you don't have the context of the previous arcs, this arc wouldn't mean very much to you. That's the only one where I actually felt connected to the characters and emotionally, like, invested in what was going on, was that arc. And then we have the final arc, the arc where everybody dies. And that should have been emotional for me, but it wasn't. I didn't shed one tear. I didn't even get a little flutter in my chest. Like, I can definitely see where the inspiration for a lot of shoujo manga comes from this series, and I can appreciate it for that. But I feel like I've read better stories. Now, because of that penultimate arc, if she ever decides to write anything else, I definitely want to check it out, because that penultimate arc definitely showed me what she's capable of. Granted, I don't think she needs to. She's making bank on Sailor Moon, but I really, really think that if she ever wrote anything again, I would definitely try it out. Because, again, the series didn't age well. She's freaking max 16, married and pregnant at the end of this series. I mean, what? That's what we want to teach our kids? That is so not okay. There weren't nearly enough time skips to make this a believable ending to me. Because in my head, she's 16 barefoot and pregnant, and that is not okay. I mean, if you choose to live your life that way, kudos to you. But man, if my daughter was 16 and pregnant and wanting to get married, I would be pissed. But that's just a personal feeling here. I mean, practice safe sex, people. And yeah, I didn't like that was the message that was left at the end. And I was a little sad that she was so romantically attached to Tuxedo Mask so young. I would have loved to have seen her even go on a date with another guy before she just jumps into this. I know they were fated to be together and everything, and a lot of that is very telling of the times when this was written. So it has not aged well, in my opinion. Am I still going to continue to collect the Eternal Editions? Yes, because I think I will revisit the series, because I can see what's wrong with it, but still enjoy it. So I did enjoy my journey with Sailor Moon, even though you heard me complain a lot in the last little bit here. I just feel like people's love of this series is very much fueled by nostalgia. So I will continue to collect the Eternal editions, but not like the day they come out. I'm going to wait till I can find them on a good sale and collect them that way. So thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. I hope you don't hate me by the end of this, because I know my opinion here is going to have some unpopular thoughts, and people are going to try to justify everything going on in Sailor Moon that I didn't like. And just know that I can see why the author made the choices that they did, and that a lot of them are dated choices. So I'm not trying to fault the series for that. I'm just letting you know that on a first read, my enjoyment went down because of these elements. And again, this is a series that I will probably revisit again once I collect all the big, beautiful Eternal editions. I've got 5 more to go, just like everybody else. Once I get all of those, I think I'll read it again and see it with fresh eyes and know kind of where the story's going to pick up on things that I missed, maybe. That, or maybe I'll try the anime. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But just know that I do not hate Sailor Moon. I didn't give anything below 3 stars, and that's all in my I like it category. So I liked it all. It was just not a new favorite for me like I hoped it would be. But like I said, that second to last arc, that penultimate arc, was fantastic. That definitely showed me what the mangaka is capable of, which is why if they ever decide to do another series, I'm all about it. And I might check out some of the Sailor Moon spin-off stories, because I can see the capable writing that the mangaka has. So I might try one of those to see if those sit a little better with me. So anyways, thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.